Hello, Thunderbirds fans, which is me and maybe two other people in the world, because this is an old TV show. Before I was, or even a kid, I think this show was on. But I managed to catch it and download some videos. So it's a puppet TV show, literally puppets, and they're riding around in these vehicles. And this is Thunderbird 2. They have Thunderbirds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. And this one is a big drop ship, and so these pods go up in here, and then they fly off, and then they drop off rescue vehicles, and they save people from peril, like some crazy jetliner. I think that's the first episode, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Excuse me. So I was walking around the toy store, and I saw this thing just sitting there for pretty cheap. Thunderbirds Volume 1 from Konami. Yes, I believe that is the video game company. Carlton, I think, owns Thunderbirds. Okay, so we got Thunderbird 2, which is the best one, I think. Thunderbird 3 is a spaceship, a rocket. Thunderbird 5 is a space station. Lady Penelope, for some reason, that's a puppet. And then here's some rescue vehicles that come outside of those pods. This is from the first episode. There's some sort of jet fighter they had to rescue with these landing pads. So how old is this guy? Does it say? No, does not. Oh, well, pleasantly it does. 2003. So there we go. We know how old this toy is. Oh, look at this. I see some text inside. Eee, man, this thing. God knows what lived in here before. Eee, I gotta wash my hands later. Unfortunately, this is all in Japanese, but yeah, you can collect the figures and stuff like that. Well, first time I've ever seen anything printed on the inside of a gashapon box like that. So, even though this looks new, I think it's not. Or there's mold in there. Look at this. So this is gross also. Yeah, a little bit of instructions. Okay. Let's get this open. Scissors. It doesn't say what scale it is. You know, it's a gashapon. Well, compared to a couple other toys I have. Yeah, I think it's like water mold or something. So we have a base, but it's just plain. It doesn't say Konami, it doesn't say Thunderbirds. It's kind of weak, and there's nothing to fasten it to. It's literally just a piece of plastic, which is kind of, if it doesn't snap into it, I kind of feel like that's a waste of plastic. I mean, I could just put this thing on anything else. So the landing gear here, they extend down. So this is in the fully up position. So I gotta trim these off with my electronics clippers. It's nice that they're already painted. Like, not only just the gold, but the feet have black paint on them, so that's pretty neat. I don't have to sit there and do it myself. It's not. Painting's the worst part about making models, I think, because paint runs, and you gotta sit there and wait for it to dry. It's a real pain. Is cutting into the bag. Yeah, it's pretty small. Alright. So, just gotta snap on the back wings here, slash auxiliary engines or something. 2 slots. Just a friction fit. That one's good. We build in. This one's a lot tighter though. Doesn't want to go all the way down in there. This side didn't have a problem. Alright, well, for the video it's good enough. So then the actual pod, does it open? It'd be nice if it did. It looks like the door is a separate piece. I don't think it does though. I think it's glued in place. Where is it? Nope. Yeah, check the instructions again. Now, there's no indication of that pod door opening, so that's too bad. It is a small toy, though. I am noticing there's a detail. I can't focus on it, come on. There's some gunmetal here and some texturing in there. It's a separate piece, actually. And so the engine, or whatever these are up here, some nice venting and a black wash paint on the silver. The front end, we have Thunderbird 2 printed nicely, some panel gaps here, pretty nice too. The windows are opaque, they're just part of the molding, but they're painted blue very nicely. Some more panel gaps here, and on the wing. The wing, is there some sort of warning there? Yeah, I don't know what those dots would be. Maybe stabilizer jets or something? They're on both sides, so okay. Now on this side, there's also some more details, like greeblies or something like that. Yeah, that's pretty nice to have. Okay, then the back we have the engines, really nicely detailed. A lot of little holes in the main hole, and then these also have black paint wash and silver and all that stuff. So pretty good. Then the bottom, oh, much more details. Much more than expected, actually. So a bunch of recessed dots with black paint. I think these are some vertical thrusters, maybe. And these are the landing gear holes. Some windows to look down on. Some more panel gaps and some printing dots. The engine intake, look at this. There's actually ribbing and silver in there. So that's impressive. And then the red is going in there. So yeah, it's weird. Well, I guess it makes sense. There's some sort of turbo fan in here, and then it shoots it out there. Okay. Wow. Impressive. Some panel gaps even on the bottom of this little wing jet thing, whatever that is. Some yellow and black over here. The striping, yellow, black, red, yellow. Two little stripes there. Yeah, there's paint all over this thing. Very impressive. Here's the little pod. A little printing for Carlton, and then these are roller wheels. Okay, well, on the real model or toy from the TV show. There's some silver dots. Maybe those are lights or something like that. A little axis hatch. Yeah, a hatch in the back, but no silver paint. So this is pod number 3 going into Thunderbird number 2. Uh-oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Is this thing bigger? Maybe it has to go into the top. You gotta be kidding me. So this doesn't actually fit the Thunderbird. It's only like supposed to be displayed with the pod outside. Look, this is no way. It's wider than the opening. That is really weird. I see no reason why they couldn't make this smaller to actually sit in there, right? That is so strange. Konami, come on, man. That's really weird. Okay, well, anyways, these landing gear here. Yeah. Telescopic landing gear. I don't know which way they're supposed to face, but I'm just going to pop it in. So it's just a little friction fit. It's fine. The fit's deep enough that I don't think these are going to fall out very easily. No way. Okay, so here's the stand, and that's what it's supposed to do. It's dropping off a pod, and then in the show that door would open and a rescue vehicle would come out, or several rescue vehicles would come out and it would rescue people. Alright, so, excuse me, let's measure this thing. Maybe if someone is motivated, you could figure out what scale this is. Or maybe if I am. I'm just going to go by overall length. So in fact, what would be the best way to do that? If I put the engines there, get the angle up here better. I would say it's 94 millimeters. Yeah, not 95. I'd say it's 94 millimeters long. So whatever the real scale is, real length, published length, divided by 94 millimeters, that would give you the scale. Okay. So let's take a look at two other Thunderbird 2s. So, the first one I bought a while ago is by Revoltech. And Revoltech makes action figures like Spider-Man and DC Comics and Marvel movie, all sorts of action figures. But for some reason, they made Thunderbird 2. So it's kind of really weird for them because they primarily make action figures, Revoltech. And this is 1/350 scale. That's what I recall the box saying. So this one actually has a clear cockpit with some painted details, like some red seats or something in there. So that's really neat. This is plastic. It's hollow. I gotta say, it's almost like the details are the same, or maybe this even has better details. Like those engine thrusters are kind of lame. Like, yeah, these should be deeper. Alright, well anyways, so you don't have to have these legs in here, but I do because the pod. And also look, they molded in the details here, but there's no paint. Same with up front, right? So it's crazy. This little guy has more details or paint finishes than this one. I will say these engines are nicer back here though, but no paint there in this corner, so it's too bad. Alright, but what's nice about this one is the pod. It does have rolling plastic wheels here. It's just one piece that rolls on both sides, and then the door, which seemed to have popped off. You got some molded details there. So these pegs are for the door. And actually, let me get a flashlight, show you the inside of this. I don't think I've ever reviewed this thing. You know, it's before we started doing YouTube. See, so you can actually see some nice, details in there. Red, silver, white. The frame of the pod, some gold on rails. So pretty cool. And it did actually come with a couple of rescue vehicles. I just pulled out this one here. This was like a fire rescue vehicle, but based on the size, it could fit several rescue vehicles. So let me just pop this door back on. Okay, so the things would just roll out off that ramp. And this goes up. And if you wanted to, on this Revoltech, it will actually maybe I'm supposed to put it in from the top again. But it does fit in here. No, it's not supposed to go from the top because there's teeth here. No, forget the door. Yeah, alright. So you could lose the landing gear and just have it in flight mode. But it's a nice seamless fit, you know. There's no major gaps or anything like that. Look at that. That's really well done, Revoltech. Very good. It's almost like you wouldn't even know it's a separate piece. And yet, it is. Alright, so that's 1/350 scale. Which makes me think this is maybe 1/500 scale if I had to guess, but again, I don't know, it didn't say. One last one is this Chorokyu one. So Chorokyu, which if you watch my channel, I have a lot of Chorokyu cars. They made a set for Thunderbirds, and yeah, it's all super deformed, but it still has a decent amount of detail. Maybe not paint everywhere, but this is actually screwed together. Interesting. Yeah, engine details there and there. And then the pod actually rolls with a Chorokyu motor. Yeah, it rolls. Does this open? Yeah, unfortunately there's no rescue vehicle in there because the actual spring motor's taking up all the space. But it's cool that the hatch even opens. So Chorokyu is non-scale for sure, being cartoon deformed. Alright. So this is a cartoon. This is realistic looking. And that's huge and realistic and actually functional. So it's nice. I really like this. This show's pretty cool, you know. If you like shows with models and stuff like that. These are all like hand-built models, and they destroy them in almost every episode. You know, this one's gonna catch on fire and crash somewhere. So it's called Thunderbirds. hopefully you can find a source to view it, if not purchase it. Okay guys, let me get this thing spinning on its own. It deserves its own spin time, I would say. Well, you know, I didn't pay much for this, so I'm glad I got it. I'm actually quite surprised how well it's painted. All the little apps of paint. And the molded details are pretty good too. I guess the only thing I really wanted it to do is to actually fit the pod in the top. That would have been nice. And if you're going to have a separate piece for the door, why wouldn't you make that door open? Seems like a waste, right? Oh, maybe it's a kid's choking hazard. That's the possibility. Maybe these are meant for kids. But then again, no, those legs are a choking hazard. So, it can't be that. Alright, well anyways, if you like Thunderbirds, check it out. Maybe you want to pick this one up. I think it's cool. It all comes down to how much, though. Anyways, I guess I'll see you in the next Thunderbirds related video. Although I don't know when that's ever going to happen again. Alright, see you guys. Bye.